Hello and welcome back to the Dacia campaign. We are turning our attention now to attacking the Macedonians. They have two pretty strong armies, one inside of Corinth, one out in the field with Aristoxenus of Enna, and they're down to just two cities, Corinth and Athens. So we have consolidated a huge amount of land in Dacia, a little bit of Scythia, down into Greece, and so we just have three more cities we want to pick up in Greece, Corinth, Athens, and Sparta. Now, Corinth and Athens are currently owned by our enemies, the Macedonians. Sparta is owned by our allies, the Greeks. So for now, we're not planning to take Sparta. But that may change with time, we'll see. Vecina, our faction leader, is marching south to command an army that will start picking away at the Macedonians. We're slightly outnumbered here. We've got some basic reinforcements, and we have some onagers and some long-range chosen archer warbands hang out in this fort. So we have a good amount of troops. We're just going to take little skirmishes, try to wear down the Macedonians, see if we can take these two cities eventually. In Apolonia, we have Scyles the Conqueror with the remnants of his army that he used to absolutely whoop the Brutii. We got several heroic victories, so now we have some famous battles scattered around here from defeating the forces that landed on Greece from the Brutii. We have taken Apolonia, and we're building a boat right now to send over this army to start picking up the remaining Brutii cities. If we can knock them out early by taking Croton and Tarentum, that will be a huge relief to not have to worry about the pressure of constant Brutii ships landing on our shores. So that's definitely a priority. We will do that next turn as soon as we have a boat built here in Apolonia. And up in Scythia, Scyluris is just one turn away from besieging Tanais. There isn't that much strength here. We have some short-range archers, a decent general, some horse archers, but we're bringing Chosen Archer Warband with those long-range archers. We have a lot of heavy cavalry and some heavy infantry, so we are well equipped for this battle. We shouldn't have too much difficulty with taking Tanais. And after Tanais, we plan to pick up the remaining Scythian cities, Campus Sarmatiae and Campus Alani, with the goal of eventually consolidating all of the northeast of the map, taking on the Parthians, and making sure that we have a solid border where we cannot be attacked from this direction because we control all the way to the edge of the map. At Byzantium and Tylis, we're starting to build up an army that will eventually march into Asia Minor and take on Pontus. So we need to build some troops for that. Let's build some Falksmen in Byzantium, and in Tylis, some Chosen Archer Warband. We are just waiting for our general, Codiso, who is making the long journey first down to pick up some good retinue from either Vecina or Scyles, and then he'll march his way over to Byzantium, get in a boat, and take this army over to Nicomedia. So it'll take probably 10 turns, might be a couple parts before we make it there, but then we can start picking up cities in Asia Minor, start facing some of those more interesting Middle Eastern armies that we haven't faced in either the Spanish or Dacian campaigns so far. Let's go ahead and end this turn. There's nothing else we want to do this turn. We're really hoping that Thermon and Larissa will stop being plague-ridden because we have had plague in these two cities forever. There's an enemy spy in the area. We don't know exactly where. I'm tempted to grab my spy to try to find their spy so we can finally kill him. But unfortunately, then I would give my spy plague again, which I think would just perpetuate the infinite plague. So I'm going to try to just wait a few more turns, see if the plague ends naturally in Larissa and Thermon, and then we can just be rid of it and have that totally in our past. But yeah, we'll see what happens when we end the turn. Let's go ahead and click end turn. Our diplomat is on his endless march into Egypt. He's currently spying for us, just seeing what's going on with the conflict between the Parthians and the Egyptians. It'll be a few more turns before he reaches out over here. Our onagers can reach the fort, so we now have 2 units of onagers sitting in this fort, ready for Vecina, and he is just a couple turns away. I'm having him take the long route around Larissa's mountain pass because I don't want Vecina to pass through Larissa, pick up plague, and have this plague just go on forever. So he's going the long way around the mountain pass and hopefully can make it to the fort before too long and we can start pushing south and attacking some Macedonians. Let's build one more unit of Chosen Archer Warband in Thessalonica who can join Vecina next turn. We just need a little more strength. We don't really have much in the way of a decent army to send south to Macedonia. And speaking of plague in Larissa, it looks like the plague here is over. We don't have any kind of plague, so I can go ahead and untrain these barbarian peasants, That brings our population back up to 5,700. So that's a good amount. And we can go ahead and retrain all of the troops that have been damaged by the plague. So next turn we'll have some more strength, and we can train another unit of barbarian noble cavalry. That will be helpful with dealing with the cavalry of the Macedonians. They tend to bring a lot of it in every battle, so you need a good amount of cavalry to deal with them. But that plague is still going on at Thurman. Hopefully it will end soon. We're just waiting that out in Thurman. But yeah, maybe a few more turns. Let's take a look at that plague. So in Thurman, we only lost 100 citizens this turn. It looks like it's almost over. Population is just so low that I don't really know how the plague has been sustained. But we have about 2,200 population just queued in these barbarian peasants. So the population is not as bad as it looks. But yeah, it's still pretty bad. I would not mind if this plague would just end. Let's go ahead and train one more unit of peasants. Just bring that population as low as possible, so our population growth rate does not impact us too much from having that negative population growth rate from the plague. Let's take a look at our announcements. New family member, Burkita, welcome to the family. We have a few buildings constructed. In Aquincum, we finally are a large town up to the second level of city. And I want to double down on population growth rate here. We're at 2,000 population, which is still quite small. We don't have any sign of invading armies from the Germans. So we're going to go for communal farming, and then eventually we'll pick up the Sacred Grove of Bendis, level 2, for that improved farms and food production. We just want to get the population growth rate as high as possible for now in Aquincum to get that up to a minor city as quickly as possible. At Campus Scythii, we have a shipwright, which will help with trade. And now the question is, what do we want to build here next? We could go for a warlord stables in order to get some heavy cavalry training in Campus Scythii. But for now, I don't think we need to buy anything. We don't have that much money, and none of these buildings look very important at the moment. We don't have any enemies on this front because these are rebels, and these Scythians up here are probably going to be more interested in defending their capital than coming to counterattack the Campus Scythii. So I think we're safe here for now. We have a decent army here. I don't think we need to build any more military buildings or communal farming, anything like that, because we already have a pretty large population here. Let's knock down the tax rate. Well, no, that loses us 300 denarii per turn. Instead of doing that, let's build one more unit of barbarian peasants to help out with the public order. Once those are built, that should help a little bit, bring us over that 75% threshold for this not to be a red level of public order. And then we can keep the very high tax rate and keep that high income from taxes. And finally, Skyluris is ready to besiege Tanais. Let's go ahead and besiege them, build as many rams as we can afford. And yeah, I mean, they just don't have that much strength here. We could probably attack next turn. Do we have any information about the general? No, we don't. So we'll have to wait for next turn. We could build some Scythian mercenaries, but we won't need them for this battle. So I'm going to hold off for now. It might make more sense to train them closer to Campus Scythii, send them down to Greece when we have a little more money, maybe. Let's take a look at our end of turn report. We gained 533 denarii. I'm very happy with that. Anytime I'm not losing money as Dacia, I'm very happy. And we have trained a lot of troops this turn. At Tylus, we have Chosen Archer Warband. We'll go ahead and send down some Noble Cavalry and Chosen Archer Warband to Byzantium. At Segestica, we have a unit of Barbarian Peasants, which we'll send over the border into Aquincum, disband them, and help out the population at Aquincum a little bit. Let's get Duras over into Aquincum, just for that little extra bonus from having a general here, and the ability to defend the city in case the Germans ever show up. Because he can sneak out of the city, buy some mercenaries, and sneak back into Aquincum. At Salona, Cotiso is done resting, so let's send him south. And let's see if there are any retinue we want to pass on from Scyles to help out the young general. We could pass over a famous warrior, sure, why not? Let's see who we want to bring from Apolonia. So let's grab Scyles the Conqueror, grab our Scythians, and see what that does to Apollonia's public order. Okay, Apolonia is not happy, but they have a high tax rate, so we can definitely bring that down. Let's see how much more we can bring out of the city. We'll bring our Cretans, we'll bring some Chosen Archer Warband, and can we hold on to Apolonia with that? Yeah, perfect, we can. Duras, do we want to bring another general? We will bring... Let's bring Duras. He can just be used as heavy cavalry. He's not very good. He just has unquenched anger, but he's good for just attacking units. So we'll use him. If we lose him, I'm not too bothered by that. So let's bring them over and merge in with Kodaso, and we can bring over some retinue from the Scyles. We're not going to be facing any more Greeks, so a Greek turncoat is not really beneficial for Scyles since he's going off to Italy. So let's pass that on to Kodaso. We'll also pass on a famous warrior that is still very useful, but I think it's more useful for Kodaso because he doesn't have that extremely high command and influence. Both of those already increase the morale of our troops, so we don't really need it for Scyles. Let's see, can we bring Kodaso out of the army? No, but we can bring the rest of the army out of Kodaso. So Kodaso is a little bit better now with those two. +1 command against Greeks, +1 command and +1 morale from Famous Warrior. And he's already pretty good. He's got Bloody, so he'll have good morale, good command. I think he'll do well in Asia Minor. So let's keep him marching over to Byzantium. About 5 more turns there. And Scyles the Conqueror is ready to get on this fleet. Now, do we want to bring him right over to Tarentum? I think so. We might face some issues here, just because this isn't the biggest army. But Scyles is an amazing general. He's got great Scythians. So I think he can hold his own. We just need to be intelligent with how we use him. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my ship back to Apolonia, because this ship will not be able to fend for itself if it gets attacked. I don't want to lose it. I just bought it, so I may as well take care of it. Again, not much else we can do this turn. We're just waiting for a few units to move. Scyles is not in range of Tarentum. Vetsina is still making his way down south. And we have besieged Tanais, but we're not ready to attack yet. So let's go ahead and end the turn. See if anything happens at the end of this turn. And again, this spy is back at Larissa. Hopefully we didn't get plague at Larissa. Let's check it out. Did not get plague here, so that means that spy no longer holds plague, which is very welcome. And I want to check out the trade report for Larissa. See if we have any sea trade. Yes, we do. So this confirms the theory I got in the comments, which was explaining why there was no trade happening at Larissa. And it's because there was actively a plague there. So I didn't know that you don't have any trade if you have plague in the city, but now I know. So that's really good to know. Larissa now has trade, so there you go. More you know. And also at Thermon, we no longer have plague. However, Partatua does have plague. I don't think I need to remove him from Thermon, but I'm going to anyways. I'm going to have him just hide out in this forest so he's not a target of any wandering troops that might appear here. But yeah, I don't want him to be sitting in Thermon and reinfect the city. Let's go ahead and cancel the plague measures, get those peasants not queued. That brings our population back up to 2,600, and I can go ahead and disband this unit of peasants. And there we go, back up to 2,845 population from, I think it was like 600. So that's definitely much better. We'll have a lot of population growth here now that the plague is over. And between Larissa and Thermon, now both having trade, both having a higher population, so better taxes. I'm very happy about that. Now we can also bring some barbarian noble cavalry and some warhounds out of Larissa if the city can tolerate it with public order. Not quite. We'll build 1 more unit of peasants. That should do it for Larissa to bring that public order over 75%. And we can bring these troops into this fort. This is just building the army for Vetsina. Let's see how far away he is. 1 more turn, and he will make it to this fort. He'll have his army, and he can begin attacking Macedonians. At Thessalonica, our chosen archer warband is ready for Vetsina, so we'll send that south. And this army is looking pretty good. It's starting to be bigger than a full stack, so we might send some of these smaller, weaker units over to Larissa or Thermon to just reinforce a little bit, because we won't need more than a full stack army. At Bylazora, we also have some unhappiness, public order of 70%. They're getting unhappy because of squalor as we near that next level of city. It'll reset once we hit 6,000, but for now they're a little bit unhappy. Let's bring down the tax rate. That'll help with population growth rate a little bit, help with public order for just a few turns until we hit that next level of city at 6,000. And I'm tempted to disband this peasant unit, but I don't want to lose too much public order. So we'll just hold off. Well, let me see if I can do it. If I take them out of the city, what does that do for public order? Bylazora, 80%. It goes to 110% if I bring down the tax rate. That's fine. We'll go ahead and disband this unit of peasants to get a little bit closer to that 6,000 threshold. There we go. So 2 or 3 more turns, and we will hit minor city at Bylazora, and that's very exciting. We still have a huge culture penalty, because we haven't been able to reach a next level of city. since we took this from the Macedonians. So it's a Greek-style city. That culture penalty will go away very soon. So very excited for that. Let's take a look at our construction report. At Campus Yazigis, our High King's Hall is complete, meaning we finally have a minor city here as well. Very exciting. We have many minor cities in the Empire now. Let's go ahead and build a Sacred Circle of Zalmoxis for the upgrades to light, heavy weapons, and armor. At Thessalonica, we completed a market. We could go straight for the Great Market. Let's see how much that's worth in trade. An extra 70 per turn, and it costs 2,400. Not worth it for now. We might do that a little bit later. This does allow the training of an assassin, but I'm not sure that's super relevant at Thessalonica because it's not really near any current enemies. I mean, we could send them south to the Macedonians, but the Macedonians will be gone soon anyways. So I'm not going to worry about that. Let's just not queue anything in Thessalonica for now. We can save our money, and maybe we'll buy those last few upgrades a little bit later. At Larissa, again, that port is complete, and I'm curious what going up to a shipwright will do for trade. Brings it up by 200, and it only costs 1,600. That'll be worth it. It'll pay for itself in 8 turns. So yeah, I'm happy to buy a shipwright. And you never know when we'll need some good boats in this area. I'm not planning to build up a strong navy like I did in the Spanish campaign, but if I do need one, it will probably be on this side of Greece, because we might be attacked by the Egyptians or by the Greeks when they turn on us. So it doesn't hurt to have more trade, more shipwrights, just in case we need to build up a fleet overnight. Let's take a look at our end of turn report. Wow, we gained 5,500 denarii that turn. Not bad at all. Let's take a look at our financial projection. Another great turn projected, 5,800 for next turn. So we are doing really well financially. I've been doing a lot of micromanaging of the economy, and it's been paying off. Now, this is the exciting part of this turn. Scyles the Conqueror is prepared to besiege Tarentum. Let's go ahead and do it. We have no idea who will respond, who is in range. There might be a huge army over here at Croton. I have no idea. I've never seen the city, so I'm prepared for anything, but we can take Tarentum next turn. Let's see what is inside the city. The faction leader, Vibius Brutus, and 3 more units that are unknown to us. So I have no idea what we're facing here. Hopefully nothing too strong. We don't have any infantry at all. We just have archers, horse archers, and heavy cavalry. So hoping for no reinforcements in an easy battle where I just pick them apart with long-range archers. But it never really goes that way with the Romans. They usually have massive reinforcements in the area. At Tanais, we are finally ready to take the city. Scyluris versus Medius. And let's see what Medius's traits are. Only composed. So +2 management, no command stars, no influence. So morale will be very poor in this army. They have some decent troops here, but I think we can just use our Chosen Archer Warband to easily pick apart the army. So let's go ahead and start the battle. See if we can do this. I think it'll be all right, but you never know with the Scythians. They always have surprises up their sleeve. We'll go ahead and start the deployment, and let's take a look at this battlefield. They usually draw up relatively close to the front gate, so let's get our Chosen Archer Warbands all just lined up right here so they're in range of the people who hang out by the front gate and behind the wall, like nice and close over here. Then we will have our Chosen Swordsmen manning the rams. We'll probably hold off on using them. As long as we have shots with our archers, we want to use our archers. But if no one's near the gate, we'll just knock down the gates. Let's go ahead and start this battle, see how they draw up. No one's in range. They know what I'm up to. But they're nearly in range over here. You know what? Let's actually hold off on moving the rams up. I don't want them to be in range of the Archer Warband over here. All right, what is the range on our Chosen Archer Warband? We're nearly in range of these Archer Warband. Let's pull this unit a little bit closer, maybe right there. This unit of Chosen Archer Warband can drop right here, and we are in range with this unit over here. So we're going to get some shots in on their Archer Warband, which is great. We want to do damage on them before they get any shots off. We can deprive them of the ability to fire back. That's spectacular. Oh yeah, most of our units are in range right now, just ripping them to shreds. I'll tell maybe 3 of the units not to fire because we don't want to waste ammo firing at a smaller unit. Now that it's been diminished in size, it's a smaller target, it's harder to hit. So we'll let just a couple of our units fire arrows, chase them off. Perfect. And since they've abandoned the front gate, let's go ahead and knock it down with our ram. We will go ahead and knock down the 2 pieces of wall next to the gate as well. Why not? And let's send in this archer warband as just kind of a shield over here. In case the archer warband comes back, this is our least valuable unit of archers. We'll just have it hang out just out of range of the tower, but kind of in range to skirmish with these archer warband in case they try to target my chosen swordsman. Nice and easy. Gate is almost knocked down, 94%. There we go. Gate is knocked down, and they are starting to react. Let's turn all of our chosen archer warband back to fire at will. And our archer warband is getting some shots in. Wonder what these archer warband are going to do. They're just kind of hanging out. They're not firing yet. I'm assuming they will try to fire through here. No, they're just eating a lot of arrows. I'm happy with that. We've killed 25% of the enemy army and used about 25% of our ammo. So this is going well so far. Axemen are getting shredded. That's amazing. We want to take care of the heavy infantry early. Yeah, totally getting shredded. Is that a whole unit gone? Nearly. 3 left in that unit. All right, let's go ahead and bring our chosen swordsmen inside the city. They are perfectly safe because they're covered by long-range archers. And I wonder if we'll have any response from the general, the axemen, the other archers. See if they will try to charge my chosen swordsman here. Let's get our chosen archer warband a little closer so they're more useful in case our chosen swordsmen are charged. We'll get the other 2 units right here. We want a nice strong block chosen archer warband here in case they're needed. Not really sure what they're up to. I think they're planning maybe a charge with their Scythian horse archer, something like that. See if they maybe get in range, try and get some shots into my infantry. But we're facing the correct direction. We have good armor, we have shields, so we should be able to take those arrows pretty well if they try to attack. Our archers are in position, our general's in position in case we get properly charged over here. He can provide a morale bonus. What are they going to do here? I think they're going to go for just getting some cheap shots with their horse archers. Not going to work out for them. They're starting to fire some arrows, but they're now in range of several units. 4 units of chosen archer warband, and they're getting absolutely ripped to pieces. Yeah, they've done about 6 damage to my heavy infantry. They're down to 25, so did not work out for them. We might move up the infantry a little bit and move in the archers. Let's see. Draw up nice and thick, like that. And let's get some archers in here. See if they can get a shot on some of the troops a little further into the city. Just get inside the city. We'll get some heavy cavalry to guard their back in case people come around the back. We don't want to get hit by a general's unit or something, but I think it's just these 3 axemen over here, so not really worried about them. Who do we have a shot on? I think these archers have a shot on most of the enemies over here, so we're probably able to shoot at the warlord, which I'm happy about. Used war cry over here. I should slow this down a little bit. So we used war cry to get the extra 10 attack for 30 seconds. And this warlord is going to get eaten up by my infantry. Yep, chosen swordsmen are crazy. That warlord is already down to 27. We don't need to pursue. We'll just let the archers do their thing. Yeah, the 3 units of chosen swordsmen with war cry enabled are just scary. So yeah, they shredded their general. That was pretty much the only hope they had using that general intelligently. So we're just going to pick them apart with long-range archers. I'll speed this up, and this battle should be over nice and quick. And I just reset the targeting of the archers, put them back on fire at will instead of just firing at the general's unit. So they're going to rip apart probably this unit of archer warband here. It's not happening too quickly. Honestly, let's just charge them with infantry. So I'm going to have them hold off on firing, and we'll let the chosen swordsmen deal with these archer warband. They'll break immediately. And yeah, that'll just run them back and kind of gives us a new line to hold. We'll just drop right here, hold the line right here, and let's get some more chosen archer warband pushed up to try and get some shots onto closer to the city center. Let's get our general in here. Let's get our warhounds in here. We can send them as well. We are taking some definite shots from up here. These archers are firing down on my archers, on my chosen swordsmen. But we're using War Cry here in case he's... Oh no, yeah, these archers are just standing here. Let's go ahead and charge them. We'll slow this down again. They'll break right away. And let's get our archers firing at... Who can we reach? These axemen, yep. Deal with them. Archer Warband are broken. And we're going to do a ton of damage to these axemen. They don't have a lot of armor. They are now being targeted by all of my archers. Alright, we have one unit of chosen swordsmen that is getting the brunt of the charge from this general's unit and this axeman unit. Let's get our warlord in here for morale, and we have the 2 units reinforcing from behind. We should easily win this fight, but yep, their general broke again. Definitely a coward. We'll use Warcry again just for that bonus attack, and yeah, these axemen are already dead, so... Let them get ripped apart by my archers. They're breaking. They're going to go back to the city center. And we've killed 78% of the enemy army. Yeah. Not going well for the enemy. Let's get our infantry drawn up here. Just a new line of defense. We'll bring up our archers a little bit closer so they can get a better shot on the people on the city center. They can probably reach the city center from up here. So we'll do that. Keep charging the Archer Warband whenever they reform and they try to take some shots at me. Just chase them off again. They'll break easily. Warhounds are inside the city. We'll release them soon just to do some more damage to the Archer Warband and everyone who's breaking and going back to the city center. So they will do some damage as well. We'll just drop right here with our infantry. Let the archers do their thing. Let the dogs do their thing. And this battle will be over in just a minute. Alright, dogs have been released on these axemen that have broken. War dogs, they're going to keep fleeing, and yeah, this is just the line that we're holding here. Let's guard here. We'll use War Cry, and honestly, there's so little left in the city, we can just charge in. Let's get our general in here for morale, but this should be a pretty easy victory right here. We'll just chop through the last Archer Warband, last few units of Scythian horse archers, etc. Yeah, this will be a nice, easy victory. And the second they step off the plaza, they just break. Over and over, they break. So yeah, last Scythian is dead. Nice, easy victory. We lost 372 troops, which is not ideal, but we killed 1,100. We took their capital. Most of our casualties were heavy infantry, chosen swordsmen. There was a lot of fighting to be done in this battle, so it's an acceptable loss. But we didn't really lose many chosen archer warband. We lost a few, just to stray arrows and stuff like that. But overall, that's a good result. I'm happy with that. And Tanais is ours. This is a minor city, and I'm going to occupy it. I would normally enslave or exterminate a city this far out, but we're not going to have a culture penalty here because they're the same culture as us. So we have unrest because we just took the city. Distance to capital, yeah, you're always going to have that. But public order is not too horrible here. Let's just bring down the tax rate for a bit. And since this is a minor city, we can do a lot of repairs to our troops. We just need to build a Hall of Heroes here to repair our chosen swordsmen. And yeah, I thought this would be a little bit better developed than it was, given that it's a minor city. But we'll just buy a few buildings over time, retrain our troops, get them back out hunting more Scythians. And I think the city will be well under control in just a few turns once we get that unrest down. And that was our 15th region. So wow, look at that. Not a bad start to this campaign at all. We'll queue a few more troops in the region of Tylis and Byzantium. We'll get another unit of Chosen Archer Warband and another unit of Folksmen. And this army is starting to come together. Kotaso can start marching towards Byzantium. And with that, we can go ahead and end the turn. There's nothing else we can do. I'm really curious what's going to happen at Tarentum when we click end turn. Hopefully, they don't have a huge army lurking about that's going to counterattack and slaughter Scyles. So we'll see here what happens. Stop spying on me, Macedonia. I just want that spy to die sometime. Just get themselves killed. This is kind of surprising. Armenia held on to Hatra. I would have thought with Egypt doing pretty well, with Parthia doing pretty well, one of them would have picked up Hatra. But Armenia, they're always trying to pick up Hatra. And in this case, they've been successful in holding it. And they have a pretty decent army here as well. So let's see if we can get map information off of them. I'm just curious. Yep, we got map information, so that fills out our understanding of this area. Makes sense, yeah. Honestly, other than swallowing up the Seleucids, not much has happened in this region. There haven't been many big, changes, so not much else for this diplomat to do. But just, I don't know, have him go back over here in case he's needed to speak to Pontus when we attack them. We'll just send him in that direction. This is very interesting what the Brutii have done. So they've counterattacked at Apolonia. Nero Mamea has brought a decent army with ballistas. So he could just barge into Apolonia next turn, take that city off of us. So we need to come up with a defense plan for Apolonia. But they've not done anything to defend Tarentum, so we can just take Tarentum. So a lot going on. This would be very interesting. Hopefully they don't take Apolonia. But honestly, if we trade Tarentum for Apolonia, that's a good trade for us. No mercenaries we can train at Apolonia. I don't really know how we're going to reinforce the city. Luckily, Partatua no longer has plague as of this turn. So I wonder if he could make it to Apolonia. Not quite. We're going to send some warhounds up to help out Partatua. And I don't know what else. I guess Kodaso could help out. I'm going to redirect Vetsina to defeat this army of the Brutii before we push south and attack the Macedonians, just because they've been so docile. So we're going to drop off the Illyrians in this fort, and we'll grab the chosen archers and the barbarian noble cavalry and some warhounds. And let's see how this army looks with Vetsina. That's a pretty good army. We'll send that over to relieve Apollonia. And that way Kodaso can keep marching over to Byzantium, and we can continue focusing on Tarentum and Croton. Now, before we take Tarentum, let's go through our announcements. End of turn report, we profited 4,000 denarii. Amazing. Another new family member, Danae. Welcome to the family. Let's take a look at our construction report. At Byzantium, we have an archery range. Yes, we can finally train Chosen Archer Warband and onagers here. I'm going to go for onagers first because I want at least one unit of onagers to help out with taking these cities, so we don't have to wait for siege equipment. And we could go straight for a Hall of Heroes to be able to get some good heavy infantry here, but I think a blacksmith would be a good idea just to retrain any of the troops that are passing through Byzantium to make their way to Pontus. So we'll get a blacksmith first, and then we might also do a Hall of Heroes a little bit later. At Apollonia, we have communal farming, and I don't really feel the need to build stables or a blacksmith or anything for now, because we just don't have the population in Apollonia to justify getting more troop training buildings. We just don't really have any way of funding that. So we're not going to do that. At Tanais, we are still working on our Hall of Heroes. And let's check out the public order here. A little bit better. Unrest is slowly decreasing, but it is going to take a while. At Tylis, we got a Chosen Archer Warband. And in honor of the Spanish campaign, I'll get one unit of Naked Fanatics. I know they're not optimal. They're kind of expensive, and they take 2 turns to train. But I want to have at least one unit of Naked Fanatics since I'm playing as a barbarian faction. We'll go ahead and send these Chosen Archer Warbands south to Byzantium. And more good news for our plans to attack Pontus. Looks like they're at war with Egypt, and they've broken their alliance with Parthia. So Pontus is getting dogged on by the Greeks, the Egyptians, probably the Parthians, probably the Armenians, and soon I will join in on that. So I think this is the perfect time to strike Pontus, pick up a few cities for free, and hopefully they'll be knocked out of the game before they're able to mount a counterattack. Let's manage public order in a few of our cities. At Thessalonica, we will go ahead and retrain these peasants and these barbarian cavalry. That will get a little more public order in Thessalonica, just from having a few more troops. And maybe we'll go for one more unit of barbarian peasants, just to provide a little more garrison in Thessalonica. At Thermon, we're going to have to bring down the tax rate. That'll help with the population growth rate a little bit. Fortunately, it will take a few turns to get this up to a minor city, just because going from 3,000 to 6,000, it's just going to take time. At Salona, we are very close to hitting the next level of city. I'm going to go for a practice range here, because once we hit that minor city, we'll be able to build an archery range and get those long-range Chosen Archer Warband. So I want to have the ability to build that building as soon as we hit the next level of city. Now we have a very interesting opportunity with Tarentum here, because Tarentum, we don't know the exact population, but we know it is, I think it's a minor city. It's a pretty big city here. So there's going to be a lot of population. So when we take Tarentum, we have the option to enslave it. And so we can move population around very quickly. I would love to dump population in Thurman, but I don't see how I can get a general there this turn. So that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I didn't think about that before getting Partatua over to Apolonia. But we can still move population into a few cities that need it. So for example, Aquincum desperately needs population, whereas Segestica does not. So let's move the general out of Segestica. And that way when we enslave Tarentum, the population will not go into Segestica. It will be split between Aquincum and whatever cities have a general in them presently. So let's manage that. We don't want any of that population to go into Tanais, obviously, because we're already at 12,000 population here. We would not be able to control that city. So we're going to bring Scyluris out of Tanais, which means that all of the population will get dumped into Aquincum and Apollonia. And those are two tiny cities that really need the population. So I'm happy with that decision. Let's go ahead and take Tarentum, and hopefully we don't lose this battle. I would love to take that population for myself. Let's check out Vibius Brutus. He's definitely a good general. He has 4 command stars, and he's very good at management. He's got good influence. So he'll have decent morale, but he doesn't have any other good traits. The main thing about Vibius Brutus is he has 90 heavy cavalry. So we do need to deal with him somehow. We don't have any heavy infantry, so we're relying on our long-range archers to deal with Vibius Brutus, but I think we can handle it, and then we can finally steal some of that Roman population, dump them in some underdeveloped cities, and that will help a lot with our economy. Let's go ahead and bring our rams a little bit closer to the wall, and then we can drop the rams because we want to be able to use our long-range archers in case anyone's near the front gate. We will have our Cretans and our Chosen Archer Warband draw up as close as possible to the front gates, and we'll also drop our Scythian mercenaries. I don't know if I'm going to use them right away, but we want them nearby. We'll keep our warlords nearby as well. In case the enemy general charges out of the city, we want to be able to face him in the field with some heavy cavalry. So let's start the battle, see where they started, drawn up. Not in range of my units. Let's pull a little bit closer with my Cretans and my Chosen Archer Warband, and see if we can get a shot on these Roman archers and ballistas. Let's get a little bit closer even now. Yeah, good. About that close. See if that's in range of these ballistas and Roman archers. Yes, they are. We are taking some shots from those ballistas, but we're targeting them. They're down to 11. Can we deal with this unit before they fire too many bolts at us? That's the question. I would love to get them down below the threshold where they can no longer operate these ballistas, because they're doing damage to us, and a lot of it. Almost there. Okay, we've killed that whole unit. Let's set everyone to just fire at will. We've already killed the enemy general. Amazingly. What happened? Wait, I'm going to pause. Is that all that's left of the enemy general? What happened? Well, I was not paying attention. Well, we apparently killed 90 cavalry? Maybe they broke? And I don't know. Okay. Archers are effective, I guess. All right, pick up the ram. That was 90 cavalry. I'm not crazy, right? The rest of the unit isn't hiding somewhere? No. That was the whole unit. Let's knock down the gates. Yeah, that was crazy. If anyone has an explanation of that, I will take it, but I'm not going to complain. That should have been way more difficult than it was, but now we get the city basically for free. We just need to kill 1 unit of Hastati, kill these 3 soldiers here, remnants of that 90 strength cavalry unit, and then we win the battle. So we've knocked down that front gate now, and I'm going to go ahead and bring my Chosen Archer Warband inside the city. And I bet if I bring them over here, they will have a shot on this Hastati on the city center. So let's drop over here, and that would be really nice. If we could just kill them from all the way over here, when they have no chance of reaching us, that would be ideal. Looks like we're not quite in range. I thought for a second we were, but I think we're not. Maybe if we get a little bit closer, we'll have a shot. It's going to be a weird shot if we get one. Oh yes, we are in range with all 4 units. Let's see what this looks like. Hopefully we do a lot of damage. I know it's a weird shot over this building, but yeah, no, we're doing steady damage. This Hastati is down to 137. 110. Just keep working on them. If they keep coming in range, I will just keep firing. And I'm going to go ahead and get the Cretans inside the city. I'll send them around a different way, see if they can get a shot. And we can just kind of bat at these troops from 2 angles, see if we can get some shots in on the remaining Hastati and General's unit. And yeah, we should be able to kill them pretty quickly. We've killed 77% of the enemy army already. We took a few casualties from a tower as we passed. Unfortunately, this tower can shoot backwards. Didn't anticipate that. But let's get out of range of them. We will fire from over here. And we're probably nearly in range of these Hastati. Let's see if we can get a shot. We'll go a little bit closer. Nearly in range. There we go. In range now. So we'll stop there. And I'll slow this down a little bit. I don't want them to successfully charge and kill my Cretans. Now this Roman general, I wonder if we can kill them before they reach us. Nope, not yet. Oh gosh. There we go. Okay, they broke. And looks like these Hastati stepped in range of the Chosen Archer Warband. So they took even more casualties. And now we're just going to fire at them with our Cretans, finish them off. And yeah, that's this battle done. I'll enable skirmish mode so they get out of the way. But I mean, these Hastati are wavering. They've broken. I'm not going to let them break. I'm going to kill them all like I always do. Finish them off with my archers. Let these Cretans get some experience and let them die like the cowards they are. Just 7 more Romans in this city. 4 more Romans. Last Roman in this city. Beautiful. Nice and easy. We lost about 60 troops. Most of them were some Cretans that ran into a tower. Didn't really heal much, but that's all right. I'm very happy with that result. I still don't know how that general died that fast, but I will absolutely take it. Let's go ahead and enslave Tarentum. 9,500 population will get split between Apolonia and Aquincum. And those 2 cities probably have grown. Aquincum, yep, is ready for the next level of city. Amazingly, did not go into red public order. So good job, Duras. You're a good governor. We will build the High King's Hall as soon as possible. Get that up to a minor city. And at Apollonia, we are up to 6,400 population. That's perfect to get a High King's Hall here. We'll go ahead and retrain these Folksmen and get another unit of Folksmen as well. That gives us a little bit better defense of the city in case they attack us next turn. And we got a new retinue for Scyles the Conqueror, Slave Trader. That's good. Increases the rate of population growth in regions where slaves are plentiful. So inside of Tarentum, the population growth rate is now 5.5%. 1.5% of that comes from the slave bonus from Scyles the Conqueror, so that's wonderful. And we can bring down the tax rate at Tarentum to make it a little easier to control, retrain our Chosen Archer Warband, and we'll train some more Chosen Archer Warband here as well as training some peasants just to get public order under control at Tarentum. So yeah, that gets public order to 80%. I'm sure we'll be counterattacked here soon, but we have so many long-range archers, so many horse archers here. I think we could honestly take any kind of counterattack. And now we just have one more city to take before the Brutii are knocked out of the game. Croton should be pretty easy. It looks like they don't have any other armies lingering in the area. There is a huge Julii army here, unfortunately, but it looks pretty flimsy from the units I can see. So hopefully they don't land, but if they do, I'll just face them in the field, get Scythians the Conqueror even more stars of command. Now at Apolonia, we need to get the public order under control because it's at 40% now that we have grown the city artificially. We'll queue some Folksmen, queue some peasants, and yeah, 60% may not be enough to hold on to that city. But we will have maybe one turn of rioting. Next turn, we will bring some more troops into the city, and hopefully Apollonia will be under control. I want to make sure that I bring the generals back inside the cities of the cities that I pulled them out, because I didn't want more population to move there. So Tanais, Segestica, and I believe that was it. We don't really have many generals in most of these cities, so it wasn't an issue. But there we go. That's our 16th region. We've got a foothold in southern Italy, which is very exciting. The Brutii are really on their last legs. So I wonder, will they come back to try to defend Croton, or will they just double down on taking Apolonia? We will see next time. And next time, Vecina hopefully will be able to make his way back south, take on the Macedonians, and we'll see. There might be a great battle for Apolonia. Not sure. We don't really have much strength here, but the Brutii, they don't intimidate me. I think I can handle them. At Tarentum, I'm going to go ahead and build a Hall of Heroes because I want to be able to build heavy infantry here as soon as possible. We'll get working on that. And I think that's a great place to end this part. Thank you so much for watching. Look how beautiful our empire is, and it's growing every part, all the way out to Tanais. Yeah, this is a huge empire. So we've done great things. Economy is doing really well. Financially, we're still profiting even when we're spending 7,700 a turn on construction. So things are good in the Dacian Empire. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying these videos, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. And have a great day. Bye-bye.